Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Andrew Kirchhoff, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Fantasy Football Week 2 tight end start sits. I'm basically going to be giving you 2 tight ends you should for sure start this week, and 2 tight ends you shouldn't even be touching. And then I'm also going to be going through my tight end rankings from 1 to 17 for Week 2, and talking about that and giving you details on what I think. But before we start, I want to make sure I thank all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. We just hit 1,000 subscribers earlier today. It's honestly unbelievable. I want to thank you guys again for the support. For those of you who like, comment down below with supportive comments. With those of you who leave nasty messages, doesn't matter. You're watching my videos. I appreciate it, right? Again, thank you guys. I can't thank you enough. And I'll just keep bringing out content as I am. So, hey everybody, Jordan Reed and George Kittle. These are my starts of the week. You know, Jordan Reed came out. We knew that Alex Smith loves to throw the ball to the tight end position, right? He did it with Travis Kelce. And with Jordan Reed fully healthy, okay, that's the main thing. With Jordan Reed fully healthy, he's able to be a good tight end, right? As of right now, he's a for sure start. If you've got him in your lineup or on your lineup, he has to start no matter what. He is going to have a great matchup this week against the Indianapolis Colts. I think Jordan Reed is one of my starts of the week, if not my favorite start of the week of all the positions that I've gone over this week. That's Jordan Reed, okay? The other start of the week, George Kittle, okay? George Kittle came out in week 1. I've been quoted to say that he's not going to have a great week, okay? Last season in 2017, the Minnesota Vikings allowed the least amount of fantasy points to the tight end position. That was not the case last Sunday. George Kittle was able to show up, and he was able to produce, right? He's one of the most picked up players off the waiver wire this past week, or at least yesterday when waivers went through. And, you know, George Kittle ended up just stepping up and making plays consistently. Where's his stats here? Goodness gracious. Let's see what George Kittle, 5 receptions for 90 yards. I mean, he scorched that defense. He was the only target, right? I mean, Marcus Goodwin went down. Pierre Garçon disappeared. Dante Pettis was used a little bit, but George Kittle was the consistent receiver for this team. I see him in this week's matchup against the Detroit Lions as a for sure start. He should be starting on your team this week. He's my second start of the week. And for the tight end position, real quick, I'm not going over any more starts of the week. I'm just going straight to sits because, I mean, it's not really deep, right? I'm not going to say start Gronk because that's a for sure thing. I'm not going to say start Ertz, right? So we're only going to get 2 starts of the week and 2 sits of the week for the tight end position. If anything, I could probably have like 8 sits of the week for the tight end position. But this week we're going to go with Antonio Gates and O.J. Howard, okay? Now, these are 2 guys that sat on the waivers for majority of your leagues. And maybe if you own Delaney Walker, maybe if you were a Greg Olsen owner, you no longer have a tight end. And these are the guys you went and picked up. I would 100% suggest not starting these 2. Now, Antonio Gates. Yes, he was used in Sunday's game against the Kansas City Chiefs, but I don't see him being a vital part of this offense. I don't see him, racking in receptions. There's so many mouths to feed. Now with Austin Eckler stepping up as a viable receiver within this offense, they have Gordon, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Tyrell Williams, Travis Benjamin. I don't know if Antonio Gates is a great start this week. I would put him as a sit because I have a lot more players that I would suggest you start over him this coming week. And O.J. Howard, he had an okay week 1. I thought he would be a little bit better considering they scored 48 points. Maybe 2 receptions for 50 yards is just not enough when you score 48 points. In my book, I think Jordan Howard this week versus the Eagles, not a great matchup. They really didn't let Austin Hooper do much, and I don't think they're going to let O.J. Howard and this Ryan Fitzpatrick-led offense do much this coming week. I would sit O.J. Howard, okay? So let's get right into my rankings, right? Plain and simple, let's get it done. This is probably going to be one of the shorter videos because there's not that many guys to talk about, and it's pretty volatile, okay? There's good tight ends and there's garbage tight ends, right? And the fact of the matter is, some of the good tight ends really looked like garbage tight ends last week. That's why my thumbnail was of Gronk and a garbage can, because literally half of these guys that I'm going to be talking about were garbage cans last week. Will they be able to turn it around, or will they continue to be, 2-point a week kind of guys? I don't know. It's unpredictable. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to want to throw Jimmy Graham the ball. I assume he would love to, because Jimmy Graham is a ginormous target that is a red zone monster and a great athlete, but I can't force him to do it. So here we go. Number 1, Gronkowski. I think it's going to be hard to go away from him as the number 1 tight end. I know they're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have really good linebackers, like I've mentioned before, Miles Jack and Telvin Smith. I just think that Rob Gronkowski, with his target share and his opportunity with Edelman down, he's going to be a great tight end. He's my number 1 for this week. Travis Kelce, he's going to turn it around. I'm telling you, yes, he may have had only 1 reception for 9 yards, but he had 6 targets. There is a opportunity there. Patrick Mahomes is going to have to turn to him to make plays. And Travis Kelce's just got to catch the ball. And, but Mahomes has got to put it on him. So Travis Kelce is my number 2 for this coming week. It's pretty obvious. Zach Ertz, number 3, playing against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whose defense did not look great. But then again, Drew Brees and Michael Thomas were just picking them apart, especially with Alvin Kamara and even Ted Ginn. They just picked them apart. Ben Watson didn't play well, but I think Zach Ertz is one of Nick Foles' favorite targets. After Aguilar, it's probably Ertz this coming week, and then obviously the running backs within that offense. So I have Ertz at my number 3 spot here, okay? My number 4, my start of the week, my first start of the week, Jordan Reed. As I mentioned before, Indianapolis Colts matchup with Alex Smith under center and being healthy. All signs look like a thumbs up. I think he could outplay his ranking, like majority of the rankings I have with my starts of the week. I think they can outplay their ranking and potentially vault themselves forward, and that's what I see Jordan Reed doing this coming week. My number 5, George Kittle. Again, same deal, playing against a Lions defense that struggled really badly, but I would kind of push that onto the fact that the offense turned over the ball 5 times, so that doesn't help anybody. George Kittle being a main target for Jimmy Garoppolo, I have him as start of the week. I have him at my number 5 tight end. My number 6, Evan Ingram. I think he'll turn it around. Yes, he had a rough week 1, looked like a garbage can, right? But against the Cowboys, I think he'll be able to turn it around. I think he'll have a good week. That's Evan Ingram at 6. Okay, now here we go. We're getting into rough territory, I think. This is the way I see it. Kyle Rudolph and Jimmy Graham are very touchdown dependent. Okay, these two, because of what I've seen so far, they're not being exclusively used in the passing game with 10 targets like Jack Doyle is underneath them. Right, these two are very touchdown dependent. I like their chances, but it's a risk. I have them at 7 and 8, but I think Kyle Rudolph and Jimmy Graham are not going to be, littered with targets these coming weeks. Hopefully that's not the case and they're just getting targets left, right, and center. Otherwise, they're very touchdown dependent. Jack Doyle, number 9, on the other hand, had 10 targets this last week. He had a great game. I think it was about 6 receptions for 70 yards. He did fumble the ball, which didn't help his case, but just the fact that the production was there and the opportunity was there, it gives you a little bit more confidence to start him this coming week. I like Jack Doyle this week at number 9. Number 10, Jared Cook, played out of his mind. Another guy that just was ridiculous beyond age, right? Deshaun Jackson, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then there's Jared Cook that honestly has been in the league for a while and just had himself a night. Still ended up with the loss. Feels bad. But Jared Cook, my number 10, because honestly, who else is Derek Carr throwing the ball to? As I mentioned in my last video, he's not throwing it to Amari Cooper. So, Jared Cook's got to be the guy, right? Number 10, Jared Cook. Number 11, Ricky Seals-Jones. I still have confidence in this guy. Sam Bradford's got to just figure it out. Honestly, we're coming into week 2. You cannot consistently be that bad. He wasn't terrible, but he could have definitely been better. He just wasn't helping the team move the ball very much. As of right now, I have Ricky Seals-Jones at number 11. Number 12, David Njoku had his opportunities last week. He'll be able to turn it around hopefully this week against the Saints defense that struggled a little bit. I think Njoku is the third wide receiver receiving target within this offense, right? Maybe even number 2, right? Behind Landry, it can be Njoku and then Josh Gordon with a deep ball, right? Maybe Duke Johnson if they figure out how to use him. I don't know why they didn't use him last week. So the way I see it, David Njoku, my number 12 tight end for this coming week. Number 13, Trey Burton, a guy that many of you have on your starting lineups. You believed in the hype. And honestly, I have him in one of my lineups. It's just tough because Trey Burton, he's one of them garbage cans. A guy that's touchdown dependent again. Touchdown dependent tight ends, it's not going to work. I'd rather have a Jack Doyle, right? Or a Jared Cook who's just going to get lit up with receptions. So he's at my number 13 slot. Eric Ebron, okay, another Colts tight end. I have him at 14, just outside of that, top 12. I think if you're really desperate, if Delaney Walker went down, if what's his name, Greg Olsen was on your team, Eric Ebron could be a fix, but it's nothing guaranteed. Again, he is a second string tight end, but the team loves to run their 2 tight end ace package. I like Eric Ebron at 14 this week. Number 15, Tyler Eifert. Didn't really show me much in week 1 to prove that, he's back in form. So I have him at 15. Ben Watson at 16. He's old, but he can still get it going. Ben Watson, as of right now, I think within that Saints offense, he's going to be utilized a little bit more and more as, these big plays start to slow down. There's no way that Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas can continuously have 100 receiving yards a game and be scoring 40 points. That's not going to happen. The game's going to slow down, and Ben Watson's going to eventually find himself a couple more targets on a weekly basis. As of right now, going into this matchup, the linebackers of the Cleveland Browns are pretty good, so I would go ahead and put him at 16. Number 17, okay, Mark Andrews, right? Let me just check this real quick. Oops, that's not how you spell it. Okay, so here's the thing, right? I have number 17 reserved for the Ravens tight ends, okay? I think there's going to be a Ravens tight end that probably scores a touchdown this week, but who is it going to be? I have no clue. Joe Flacco likes using the tight end. The Ravens offense likes using tight ends. They have 3 or 4 of them right now that they're using. It's sketchy. As of right now, I have Mark Andrews probably catching that touchdown this week. That's why he's at my number 17. But again, he is a very risky play considering he is not even the starting tight end and that they use 3 tight ends within this offense. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, go down in the comment section. Let me know if you're in a standard, half, or full point PPR scoring format. If you have a question about who you should start, this pretty much answers every question. So you shouldn't be asking me, should I start Ricky Seals-Jones or Jack Doyle this week? The rankings to my left answer that question for you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. For those of you who have subscribed, I appreciate it. For those of you who haven't, please go ahead. If you like this content, subscribe below. I'm going to be bringing out stuff daily, weekly on, fantasy football, news, breaking news, stuff like that. Keep you updated, help you out with your waivers, and so on and so forth. So make sure, if you haven't, click that little bell to keep notified because for sure, my content tomorrow, it's going to be spicy. I'll see you guys then. Otherwise, thank you, and see you guys.